Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy Friday. Today is Vlogmas day number 7. So far, so good. So yesterday I showed you guys the Park Pack variants that I got, and when we got those shipped to us, we also received our Mickey Mouse memories for the month of November. So originally I was not going to bother showing you guys November. I figure everyone's seen them by now, like people don't really seem to care a whole lot. But then we made an interesting, not so good discovery about them, so I decided I will still hop on here and share that with you anyways, and then I can show you the kind of bad news that we discovered. So the November Mickey was one that I was really excited for. It was representing the 2010s, and he honestly did not really do that well. Like, he didn't sell out for quite a while, then he did sell out, and then a couple days later they had more on the website. So I guess like people just aren't really loving on November. I personally really like him, so glad that I picked him up. But it is this kind of neutral colored Mickey. He is very millennial, I guess you could say. He's got like the arrows all over as like his pattern. It definitely reminds me of the whole like tribe movement, and like lots of people are theming their nurseries to like the whole like arrow and nature kind of thing. So definitely get this like millennial hipster kind of Mickey. Totally think the theme is appropriate representing this time period. So I liked him. I thought he was cute. I like neutral colors. It's like what our apartment is themed after. So he is like really this kind of like brown taupey color. So I think he's cute, but I guess other people just aren't really loving him. I will say this month seems to be more of a standing Mickey. I cannot get him to sit down like I can the other months because of the material that he's made out of. So he's just gonna chill back there for the rest of this video. So here is the mug for the month of November. Again, it is like this taupey brown color. It is totally finished and glazed, so it is glossy. Again, I never end up keeping the mugs. I usually end up like trading or selling them, so I'm not gonna take this one out of the packaging. I will probably show you guys my mug collection maybe next week, because I do have Disney mugs. They're just not the Mickey monthly ones. The rim around the mug is all of the arrow patterns, and then the rest of the mug is basically just pretty neutral. So not the most exciting, I guess, but I love the plush. And then the pin set, I think is pretty cute. Like, there were some months that I just did not care for at all. I just thought that they were like ugly and just why would you even design that? But I'm like okay with this one. So I mean, I don't know. I think this Mickey is pretty cute actually. He's like really joyful, jumping, running, like, and then the middle one, yeah, it's okay. This is probably my least favorite in this pack, but I mean, I can't really complain about it too much. And then we have our big Mickey head over here. Again, it's got the arrow pattern, and I don't know, I think he's still cute. So yeah, that was November. The December set is actually being released tonight. It is being released earlier than usual because I think Disney, at least our Disney store, had said that they wanted to make sure that the people who order it online are gonna receive it by Christmas, so that's why they bumped it up a week. So I will be going to sleep pretty early tonight, setting my alarm, waking up, and fingers crossed I can get them online, because there is no way I can go line up in the store tomorrow because I do have my last wedding of the season, so I will be working all day. Hopefully online does not fail me, order doesn't get canceled, because I really do want this last December set. He is like hollow and crazy and extra, and I love it. I really want it. Okay, so now it is on to the kind of not so great news, but a month or so ago, you guys saw me open some previous Mickey monthly memory, whatever you want to call it, Mickey Mouse memory sets from previous months from before we started collecting. Johnny had picked them up, and the January set that we got, which he was like most excited for because he loves like Steamboat Willie and Black and White, and he has like a really small side collection of that. it just like didn't look good, and we were like, oh, maybe it was because it was the first one that was released, like the quality control wasn't great, or like maybe we just got a bad set, it just didn't look that great. And so while we were purchasing this November set, they actually had the January pins back in stock, so we were like, should we pick up a new set? Should we see if like we get a better one? Like, don't know, and we decided to go ahead and do it. So we did order a new January set, and it has arrived, and it looks wonderful. Honestly, immediately upon seeing the set, we knew that the first set we had purchased, which is right here, I took them off of the board so that you could see them side by side in their packaging. This set is 100% fake. Yes, there are scrappers out there of the Mickey Memories set, so if you are still looking to try to complete some of yours, especially for the older sets, and probably even more so for January because that one seems to be worth so much more, like, be really, really, really careful. So I'm gonna actually flip you guys around, lay these out on my desk so that you can compare everything side by side, from the pins to the packaging, and kind of see how we could tell it was fake, give you guys some pointers on how you can spot fakes. And a lot of the pointers that I'll give you don't just apply to this set, they're gonna apply basically to any sort of pins anywhere. And you know, Johnny reached out to the person that sold it to him because he does keep like this really mean spreadsheet of like all the pins he's purchased, when he purchased them, like the date, the price, who he purchased from, if he's traded it or sold it, like what he traded it for, what he sold it for, like all this data. Like, he's such a nerd, but yeah, love him for it. So we do know exactly where he got the set from. We reached out to that person, sent like pictures, and we're like, hey, not sure where you got this set from, but just thought we'd let you know, like, it's definitely fake. We didn't ask for like our money back or anything, and like this person did not care at all. Like, kinda sucks, because we really care, we're super careful, we check all of the pins as they like come in after I do my pin mail videos. We like pull up pictures, we examine, like we do not want fake pins in our house. Like, Disney pins are expensive, like for a reason. And I don't want to be part of the problem, like trading or like sending out scrappers to people. So like, we're definitely really careful with everything, and it was just like such a bummer to get this fake set. Luckily, we now have this authentic version, and I was gonna like just toss the other set, but I decided before I toss it, I wanted to make this little video for you guys to kind of help you guys out. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around so that I can do a bit of a comparison for you guys. So here is a look at the two pin packs side by side. So obviously, straight off the bat, you can tell that the packaging is different. So I'll talk about that in a second on why we thought it might have been okay, and that wasn't like an initial red flag for us. I mean, we definitely noticed it. We didn't know if that meant they were fake, but you will see that this pack is far more yellow. The Disney Store logo is a bit off, but honestly, unless you had something to compare it to, I would not even notice. It does say series 1 of 12 on both. It says limited release, and everything is spelt correctly there. But then it says pin set of 3, ensemble de 3 PIMS. It doesn't even say pins, it says PIMS. So that was definitely a giveaway once we noticed that we were like, yes, these are for sure fake. But otherwise, just kind of comparing them, we honestly weren't sure. And the main reason for that is, as you can see, we purchased this one ourselves. So the price tag and everything is in the US. Whereas this one, the price tag is in RMB for mainland China. So these pin packs are sold all over the world. They are not only released in the US and UK. So we thought that honestly, maybe for the Chinese version, they had different packaging. We honestly weren't sure. And so, you know, we just assume the best, because when we bought this, like I said, we did buy it with 2 other packs, and those packs looked just like this, and they had the US barcodes on them, so we weren't suspicious, and we were like, oh, maybe we just got the Chinese version, which is just a little different. But yeah, later when we noticed the Pimm's, definitely like confirmed all of our suspicions, because let me go ahead and take these out of the pack for you. So once we had actually taken the pins out of the packaging and put them on their board, like they just felt really lightweight and not right. But again, this was like the first time we had purchased this series. We had nothing to really compare it to that we knew for sure was genuine to be like, oh, it shouldn't feel this way. Most fake pins that you will find in eBay lots, people say this all the time, they are typically soft enamel pin instead of hard enamel. So what that means is that you have your metal mold, the enamel is poured in, and then that's it. So usually the paint will be a little bit lower than the edges of the mold. You can kind of see all of the dips. Where a hard enamel pin is then taken one step further and it is sanded down so that everything becomes smooth and flush. And these pins are hard enamel. Usually this is not the case for fake pins. So again, we weren't entirely sure just from looking at this set. And these have a very matte finish to them, which also didn't quite alarm us. These do not have a matte finish. These are the kind of smooth and very kind of shiny pins that you would normally find from Disney. But the Mickey memory sets for their plush, which is what we were collecting and familiar with, all have very different finishes for the plush. They're all made with different materials. Some are pleather, some are like corduroy, some are like neoprene, like scuba type material. They're all very different. So I wasn't sure if that was also kind of the case for the pins. So again, the texture just didn't really bother us. But then when you look at like this Mickey, for example, there you can really see it. Look at his ears. You see that? They are still really just kind of paint dipped and not a good quality. And you can see that the paint is pretty streaky in his pants as well. So it was especially this pin that made Johnny just want to get a second batch, because he just wanted one that wasn't damaged. Because at the time, we were just thinking that, okay, this one's bad. This one was damaged. But then examining the glove, it's got a really similar issue. You can see this very leftmost mark has a little bit of enamel spilling out over the left side, and then the enamel doesn't quite go all the way to the right side. So that is another really good indication that, you know, your pins did not meet quality standards. Where this one looks pretty decent over here, he does have like a bit of a speck. I don't even think it's like showing up in the camera. There it kind of is. He has a bit of a speck there on his face. We tried to like magic eraser that, but it didn't come out. So it is like some dust in the enamel. Trying to catch that in the light there. Pretty streaky paint, especially in the black. So now that I've kind of shown you the front and some things you can watch for, especially when you have the packaging, let's go ahead and compare the backs, because that was something else where we saw a difference. Okay, so this will be really hard to tell, but the fake one is still on the left, and it is definitely like 3/4 of the way of the real one in thickness. So this one is definitely lighter, and you can see it has these really, really baby nubs. They are still sharp when you touch them, so I know a lot of people will just kind of touch the nubs and say, oh, if they're sharp, it's real, don't worry. That is not the case, but they shouldn't be this like super tiny like baby nub if you compare it to the ones over here. Like these are actually large enough nubs that if you were to stick this into your bulletin board, these would also make a hole and help secure your pin. These would do nothing. So that is definitely something to watch for. Nothing was spelt wrong on the fake pin, because that's usually another thing to always watch for is spelling. Everything looked pretty good except that the Disney logo was slightly different. Like, this one looks nice, professional, thick lines with depth, exactly how it should. And then this one just looks like someone tried to quickly copy over it in Photoshop. Really thin, all like the same thickness of the lines, and it just doesn't look great. It more looks like a scribble of the word Disney instead of the actual Disney logo. But again, unless you had something to compare that with, you probably wouldn't notice. The fact number on these is correct, and yeah, that's really the only other way. Like, when you get them next to each other, you can really see this black almost more looks like a gray instead of black. So there is a definite difference. So yeah, just wanted to show you a little quick comparison, let you guys know that there are fakes out there. They do usually still come on backer cards, so having a card does not necessarily mean anything. So definitely just examine all of your pins, look for spelling errors, look and see if the pin feels really cheap and thin and isn't very heavy. Look at those little nubs, and honestly just compare even the quality of the front of the pin, the enamel. It should be hard enamel. Disney makes very few soft enamel pins, so make sure there aren't dips and streaky areas. Compare all of the colors. This one actually did a really good job of having every color where it should be. Find a picture of the legitimate pin, use pin pics, post in the Facebook groups, ask for someone who for sure purchased that pin themselves and knows it is authentic to just get like a baseline to really compare, and you just have to really carefully comb over everything. Definitely, you gotta be careful out there because fake pins, I mean, no one wants that. Alright guys, I am going to end this here. Hopefully you found this a little bit educational. Let me know if you are going to be staying up tonight for the Mickey Memories release. I know I will be. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for a super exciting video. You will not want to miss it. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central for a lot of magical Disney goodness. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye!